The Knicks post-game show is presented by Tri-State Audi. Visit your Tri-State area Audi dealer today. All Knicks in Atlanta this afternoon. OG Anunoby, his 9th straight game with at least 20. He went for 24. Karl Towns, 30 and 11. 19th game this year with at least 30 and 10. That's the third most in Knicks history. And the Knicks win with ease this afternoon, 121 to 105. Standings now in the Eastern Conference. What's it all mean? It means if the Knicks win at home tomorrow night against Phoenix and the Pacers tomorrow night lose to Denver, the Knicks will clinch the third spot in the East. Their magic number is down to 2. Great to have you with us from our Delta MSG studios. Bill Pito along with Alan Hahn. Here is how dominant the Knicks were this afternoon. Alan, the Knicks didn't score a single field goal in the 7:50 of the game. In the final 7:50 of the game, not a single field goal, and they still won by 16 points.
Yeah, there was one point in the game where the PA announcer in Atlanta was yelling, defense! And it was like, bless his heart, because the Hawks were saying, no, we're not going to play defense. I told you the stat to watch was the fact that Atlanta came into this game giving up over 120 points in 5 straight games. Make it 6 now. And the Knicks had 120 points with 7:54 to go in the fourth quarter and only scored one more point the rest of the game as they were, just trying to get through this game knowing that this is the first game of a back-to-back. Absolute dominant performance for them offensively. And, man, that second quarter for them must have felt good because their offense without Jalen Brunson has sputtered a little bit, but it did not in that second quarter.
Knicks in that second quarter, Allen, outscored Atlanta 40-22. They go on a 21-3 run, and in that second quarter, went 7 of 9 from downtown.
Yeah, they just got scorching hot. And you heard Karl Towns tell the guys in his walk-up interview that, we're trying to overpass sometimes, and that could be a problem. Instead of passing up good shots, we're taking them. But the ball movement was good. Now, full disclosure, the Hawks' defense was awful, like pathetic, bad. They have no rim protection, and the Knicks were smart enough to recognize that. But the 3-ball, like you mentioned, Bill, was something that in the post-All-Star break, they have not shot the 3 well. But in this game, they got into a rhythm. Karl Towns hit a logo 3 at one point in that first half and in that second quarter. But the ball movement was good. Landry Shamet still continuing his rhythm. And, boy, the Knicks really just were rolling offensively in that second quarter. Their highest first half of the season at 78 points and never looked back.
Look at the numbers. Another game in which they've recorded 30 assists. What are they, 20?
24 and 3
24 and 3. Last year they had only 10 total games.
Yeah, now 27.
With 30 assists. Now they have 27. The ball movement's been a staple of their play all year. There are your numbers. Knicks scored only 13 fourth-quarter points and still ended up with 121.
Yeah.
Another big game for OG Anunoby on the offensive end. I mentioned his 9th straight game with at least 20. He went for 24.
And, again, we'll go since the All-Star break, because a lot of people want to look at the 9 straight games. So you look at that bracket, and he's shooting 50, 40, 90 in those 9 games. But I'm telling you, this is not just something that occurred because Jalen Brunson is out of the lineup and he's getting more shots and more looks. If you are watching since his foot injury, when he came back from that, post-All-Star break numbers for him are phenomenal. He is averaging over 21 points a game in 22 games since the All-Star break. So this is not just a reflection of not having Brunson in the lineup. This is a reflection of OG Anunoby saying that I'm going to get aggressive, that I want to find my shot, that he developed a move to the basket using his power and his strength, the low dribble before he gathers to the rim, and he turned that into something that is a weapon. The three-point shot is something that he's been very good at throughout his career, but it's just his mindset completely different. And so he has been like his numbers since the All-Star break, and we're talking 22 games is more than a quarter of a season. That's All-Star level performance. And I'm forgetting to mention that in this game, he also had 3 blocks and a steal. His defense is also still elite.
Now, is his offensive aggression a function of Brunson not being in the lineup?
No, I just said that. He was doing this before Brunson's injury. His numbers are post All-Star break.
But he wasn't getting to the foul line with the consistency.
That's the difference.
And isn't that a function of being more aggressive?
Yes, which is exactly what he said. It's that move that he had developed where he does a drive, and there were a lot of times earlier in the season he would drive the ball, and then if he did not know where to go or didn't have a plan, he'd kind of run out of room if he could not get to the rim. But now when a defense closes off on him, he's bringing the ball low. And then he's exploding up like not a Euro step, but more just a crossover. And when the hands reach in on him, he's drawing fouls. This is something you got to credit him and the coaching staff for spending time this season to find for him a go-to move that he can have to utilize his strength and exploit defense when they try to reach in on him.
All right, as for Cat, I mentioned another 30-10 game, 19 now on the year, third most in the history of the Knicks. You look at the way he's put these numbers together, and this has been a tremendous first year for him.
An all-NBA season. It'll be his third this year that he'll be all-NBA. There's no question that he'll be a second-team or third-team all-NBA selection. And for Karl Towns, like, if you don't have a strong big man, you have no chance. You know, they don't have Clint Capella playing. That was a logo 3, by the way. They don't have Clint Capella. You know, Okonwu is about 6'8", 6'9".
Ricochet's not slowing him
Ricochet
down.
is, 115 pounds. They don't have enough for a guy like him. And when he gets into rhythm offensively, he loves to pass the basketball. But this is the kind of stuff that happens where he just overpowers you. He knocked down only a couple of threes, but a lot of his damage was done right around where we're showing you in the paint. Little slips, little cuts, little finishes, a bunch of and ones. He got to the free throw line 9 times, 8 of 9 from the free throw line. This is just Karl Towns just being a dominant player and recognizing that the opponent has nothing for you on this night. He can't guard me, and he had that kind of mentality, and he made sure to attack, and the Knicks made sure to keep feeding the big man.
Very good possibility that Jalen Brunson returns tomorrow at home against Phoenix. If that's the case, the Knicks would go 9-6 without their captain. If I told you in early March that they go 9-6 without Jalen Brunson, I think you'd say, where do I sign up for that?
Yeah, and if you look at some of the games, they could have won 10. They could have won 11. There are a couple of games that they do feel like that they gave away that they could have won. But still, to survive this time without Jalen Brunson, who is an all-NBA player, he's an all-star, a superstar, your leader. To be able to survive these games with a winning record says a lot about how much they have on this roster. And now they've got a week, if they can get him back in the lineup tomorrow, to reacclimate him to the offense and figure out some things now that Mikal Bridges, another 20-point performance, very efficient. So those guys, the two wing players, have really emerged, and it's now for Jalen Brunson to figure out not how am I just going to play my game, but how can I fit my game now and let these guys still continue to cook.
I also need to mention Josh Hart, 1 rebound shy of his 10th triple-double of the season.